Okay, let's do this. Good morning. Dumelang, sanbonani, absheni. Bonjour. Hola. It's been a while. But anyways, how is everyone? I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everybody is keeping well and to their purpose. And they are not, it's being taken by this whole change of things out here, because the things are crazy. Economy has gone, like everybody's suffering. But at this point, like when such things happen, that's where you learn who the one who thought he had less learns that he has much, or he's had much all this time, because the things that he has lived with, adjusting to, because of what they lack, it's what those who've had all this time are complaining about having to adjust to. So perspective is still everything, but we are all just learning to adjust. I think we've been learning that lesson since COVID. So it's not a time for us to be complaining about adjustment right now, because it's been there. So today's class or video is about detachment, the power of detachment. I've been thinking about it for a while. I've been watching lessons and videos on detachment for a while, or should I say stoicism, basically minding your own business, because it's a constant war, like internal war, when you decide that, you know what, fuck this, I don't care about this anymore, or I won't involve myself in this anymore. And in most cases, it's just from the people around us, i.e., it can be family too, right? And when you decide to change that about yourself, or you're not gonna avail yourself to certain things and people anymore, as I did say in the last class about what they don't tell you about healing, the loneliness that comes with it. But now, what happens once you've decided against certain things that you had kept to all this time, or for the longest time? What happens? Like, how do we navigate through that? Because that is also tricky, because change is very tricky. Your old self keeps just trying to pull you back because it's easier. It's things that you've always done for the longest time, and now you changing. So I have to open the window. I know there's noise, but hey, like I said before, get Alex, so that I was strong. Hey, it's so hot. So who you've been your whole life, or the whole time, or for the longest time, or whatever it is that you're changing about yourself, is easier to fall back into. And these new decisions, these new changes, are always just an obstacle, because they come with their own surprises. And most of the surprises come in you realizing that this is harder than you thought it would be. And that's why a lot of people, it's like someone who goes to rehab. Not everyone is rehabilitated from the first time. Not everyone who goes to jail takes a different course after going for the first time. Most people who are in, I don't know, in careers or decisions that offer jail as a reaction or circumstance keep going back to that space, because it's easier. When they come back out, they need to change. When they come back into society, they need to change a lot about themselves, and most of them can't handle that. Most people cannot handle it. Someone from rehab, someone who's ended a long-term relationship, someone who's recently divorced, a new parent, someone who's now a parent, is losing their old selves and learning a new self through this decision to have this child come. And even for those who have fallen pregnant or have become parents against their will, even that, just deciding to live through that is not easy, right? But that's circumstance. So there's the circumstance that comes to us that we did not create for ourselves, right? And but the circumstance to everything, like taking the wrong turning, ended up in the wrong place. There was a decision, whether it was wrong or right, but every decision that we make has its circumstances. So dealing with those circumstances, in most cases, it calls for us being different people or having a different set of eyes and ears and hands too and feet. How you listen, how you see things, what you do with your time, and where you are going with your feet. So our class today is on the power of detachment. And the scripture is Proverbs 13, verse 20. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. So before I break down the meanings of these words, as we always do, definitions, just to get into it deeper, because words are powerful. So it's one thing just saying something, but if we have definitions, it can direct the next person to actually even investigate anything that they bump into further. Just there's nothing wrong with wanting more understanding and knowledge. There's nothing wrong with that. So someone is trying to call me. Let's ignore it. So there's nothing wrong with that. I've even lost my train of thought. Right, let me do this. So as I was saying, there's nothing wrong with wanting to know more. Some things just because we are adults and we think we've accumulated all the understanding that we need to understand to accumulate. Some things just sound pretty straightforward, but the beauty of it is once you actually try to discover and see, okay, what else you can learn about what you think you know, you realize you didn't know everything there was to learn about it. So always make room to find out and understand better. Okay. So at some point you learn that you cannot let people's decisions affect your emotions into reactions that don't benefit your life or purpose. Right? At some point you see, this is not serving me. This is not what I want. Right? This is not what I want. You know, detachment, okay, I'll get into it. So number 2, in explaining detachment, detaching for your or in your healing journey is simply knowing when or how to care, or layman terms, learning when to give a fuck. Number 3, detaching for your own peace means allowing or choosing validated responsibility, e.g., not being fully responsible for adults or what others think of you. So after preparing the lesson, I got the thought that I also need to highlight that detachment isn't just walking away from people and situations. Detachment is living life detached, not being attached to your life being a certain way, i.e., surrender. And I've touched a lot on surrender because it's been my lesson too. But in the past 9 months, I've really had to learn to just roll with the punches, because today I can think and believe that spirit is leading me towards this. And then I follow that course, I follow that journey. But then along the way, I realized something in me is like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Let's do this. And at some point, it was close to causing frustration for me, where I felt like I was not really rooted enough. I was erratic, which has been one of my biggest personal pet peeves, internal pet peeves of mine, character and personality. But over time, I've come to understand that there's an art to being a person who is erratic or not easily figured out or not easily akikremig, akikremig, because I've never liked being boxed. So further than that, now adding knowledge and experience to it, I am learning that my adding or taking away my self-control in situations or in the purpose and journey and walk of my purpose has been the most relieving action and decision I've ever taken, because almost every day I'm ready to be surprised. Things going wrong are seen as a new opportunity or new lesson. Things going wrong are not seen as things going wrong. It's a, oh, okay, what do we have here? Where are we going with this now? Okay, God, where are you taking me? What are you trying to say to me? And sometimes we forget that, yes, while our lives are happening, while God is in our lives, there are other lives happening around ours too. You can be wanting to do something now with other people, but it's maybe those certain people are not ready. Those certain people are walking their own path. Those people are learning their own way, or they are on their own course. And it's easy to think that the world and the universe and God is against you. One way you are, you have bad luck, or you made a bad decision. But that's why we need to be detached from control. We need to detach ourselves from thinking that we are the masters of this whole thing. That's why we are told that you are the master of your own thoughts. More than anything, you're not the master of your life. Yes, you are, because you choose the type of life that you want to participate in, right? It's all a decision still. But detaching from, that's why a lot of people now, some people are experiencing some form of depression, because the things that they were attached to are now taken away, because now we've been living lives where we have to just only keep what we need since COVID, because that showed us that there's a lot more that we need in life, which is less, which is more for the things that matter and not the things that we necessarily see. Some people were forced to start dealing with themselves, or start realizing who was actually in their corner, who they had in their lives. Some people had to learn that dealing with things alone is actually what they needed. Some people realized that going at it alone that whole time wasn't good for them. And then now they're working on setting and having really healthy relationships that are give and take. It's not just them focusing on themselves only, but realizing that we all do need some sort of a village, right? We need to be compassionate. We need to realize that it's not all about you. So let's break down the scripture. I'm going to read it again. Proverbs 13 verse 20. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. So the definition of the word walk means to move on foot with at least one foot always on the ground. And then the definition of move: number one, change in place or position. Two, to change. Three, to take action. Four, to stir the emotions of. And then five, suggest. So some changes are brought on by our emotions. That's why people can say they fell out of love with people, because something in them mentally adjusted, which then affected the emotions, which then would affect your actions and where you want to be. Where we are is based, wherever you are right now, be it the job that you're in, the career that you're in, the relationship that you're in, the friends circle that you're in, the type of entertainment that you're into, how you use your money, how you save your money, where you live, the car you drive, if you have a car, um, are all based on emotion. Your state of emotion, which also comes from your mental state. So the type of car that you driving is also highlight of how you see yourself. We can see how you see yourself, but how we see you, right? How you dress tells us how you see yourself. How you want us to see you tells us how you initially see yourself. So detachment is also something as simple as societal norms, what people think, but Butler syndrome. So society says that we should all allows or thinks or believes that it's marriage for it's school, after school is career, between that time we should find a partner to marry, and then we have our kids, and then we have a house, and then we have a car, and then that's how families grow. But because coming with a lot of wisdom, i.e., experience, we see how and we realize how, or should I say, I've realized how it's impossible to stick to societal norms once you realize that you are an individual. When you realize that you're an individual and you start embracing your individualism or your self of identity and character, or you start recreating who you are because of who you want to be, you realize that you don't want to be like anyone else. And those who are okay with being with everyone else comes from a sense of fear, comes from a space of fear, right? Fearing their own thoughts, fearing discovering themselves, right? So the reality is no one is like anyone else. That's why our fingerprints are all different. Twins can be born of the same woman, but they are different people. Siblings can be born of the same woman, but they are different people, right? Houses can be built the same in the same neighborhood, but inside they are all different. All of them are different, right? So we can have a tribe of people, but the families in each of those tribes are different, yet they would follow the same guidelines of principle and culture. But at the end of the day, there are individuals involved. So, for example, there are people that the latest trend is what they wear. There are people who have some things that they've never worn, but they're buying or purchasing those things because it's the new hype, it's the new trend. Their identity is not unique. Mass production is easier if you come to think of it. Imagine if Mr. Price or Woolworths or whatever had to design, if they all tried to design for individuals. I mean, the cheapest form of fashion or retail does not have the time to try and accommodate each and every individual that is out there because they don't know. There's no way of knowing. But haute couture, the real shit, it's the collection, and in that collection, not every they won't have 100 replicas of one outfit or one design. They won't. There's no repetition. There's the sequence and that in every collection. There has to be a statement that your brand brings, for example, right? So if you're a brands have like haute couture, like high fashion brands, they can have different designers over the years. They can have different tailors over the years, but there will be that signature design that is there that we know that is Dior. Like for example, Chanel over the years, they've had Chanel's, the suits, the tweed suits, over the years. But as soon as you see someone rocking something like that, you can just tell that is Chanel. Right? So, Baba Bango retailer, Siafana Son, we are all the same because it's easier. Now, that one, these other brands are more expensive because they're unique. They are unique. More than you part with 10,000 rands for something smaller, maybe some socks, a belt, maybe if you like it, or some sunglasses, to walk into those stores and say, I want this. But also in that, you wanting something uniquely for you, that is extra money. That is an extra cost, but it buys you quality where they can have a premier and a salesperson fly all the way to come and see you because you have a complaint. Now, Mr. Price, if you have a complaint, you have to email someone, you have to call people over and over again just to get what you need or just for someone to hear you out. And in most cases, there's no help for you. You end up just giving up. So individualism comes at a cost and at a price, but it buys you quality. Think about it that way. It buys you quality, all right? Being an individual doesn't mean that I have to dress in this high fashion. There are people who dress in high fashion and they still look like shit. They still look like, what are you doing? But I can rock up with an outfit that costs less than 500, including shoes, and I look the shit. I will look dope, right? I've never liked looking like anyone. I don't look like anyone. I am not like anyone, right? I am named after someone, but I'm nothing like her. There are some characters that I've heard that she used to do this. You do this? Oh, she used to do this. Okay, I understand. Oh, okay, spirit, all of that. I understand. Okay, that's why I do some of these things. But there's no way that I will let that name define who I am here to be. There's no way that I'm going to just let my ancestors decide, Hore, you are this person too. No, no. God has given me the freedom to be who the fuck I want to be, but with guidelines, right? So even this high fashion has guidelines on how each stitching is specific, each this is specific. There's more time given to that. So even the mass production people have guidelines for mass producing. So it doesn't mean that all these guidelines are for us, right? Okay, so the definition of the word walk means move on foot with at least one foot always on the ground. To move is to change in place or position, to change, to take action, to stir the emotions, or to suggest. So it's a thought too, right? To walk. He who walks with wise men will be wise. If you decide to take that path, you'll be wise, right? Wherever you decide to go, wherever you think to go, wherever you think to say, to hear, to play, whatever, it needs to be in a space where there is some knowledge and there's some lesson from it. It needs to be for something. And now the meaning for the word wise, manner. And then I looked up wisdom. Wisdom is good sense and judgment, accumulated knowledge. And there is also wisdom teeth. And we get wisdom teeth after the age of 20. So this is after having your milk teeth, losing teeth over time to gain your wisdom teeth. That's why they're called wisdom teeth. And they are painful. Wisdom is not easy. Wisdom is not easy at all. Wisdom is painful because it comes with you just going what the fuck all the time. I thought if I thought school was supposed to be this. I thought this. That's why defining years are stuck in like school, right? Like that's where a lot of identity started because of that age, and that's why schools were introduced. Like that sense of schools that sense of education being in schools was introduced because it was understood that from the age of 7, and by that age of 7, a bit of your character is already imprinted, right? Innately imprinted in you. So there's a better chance of for the next 12 years of your life, there's a better chance of your mind and character and personality being manipulated into what the system wants you to think you should be. Time is a factor. Time really does matter. And time is one of the things that we do know for sure or have in this life, right? So to walk is leaving people in situations that don't serve you well, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So anything that is not good for your health, your mental health and stuff, that is stuff that you need to leave. That's stuff that you need to detach from. Anything that is not serving you. Even something as small as self-identity. Like, why does it matter that I have to wear this brand all the time? Why does it matter that I'm seen wearing this? Why does it matter that I have to be in the latest fashion? Why does it matter that I live in this area? Why does it matter that I have to drive this car? Why does it matter that my kids have to go to this type of school? Why does it matter that I only buy food in this certain spot? Why does it matter that my favorite beverage is this? Right? Why does it matter that I have to carry this type of phone? Why does it matter that I have to speak this way? Why does it matter that I have to read these type of books? Why does it matter that I have to eat this type of food? Why does it matter that I listen to this type of music? Why does it matter that I watch these type of movies or series? Why does it matter that I have to have these type of conversations? Why does it matter that I have to be around these certain types of people or in these circles? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Everything that you are in, everything that you say, everything that you think, everything that you do and hear, there always has to be, why does it matter? Everything you do, say, hear, everything you do, say, hear, and think comes from self, is a reflection of what you think of yourself. How you think others think of you is also a reflection of what you think of yourself. Okay, movement takes action and decisions. So to end up in a certain spot of your life, mentally, physically, emotionally, there was a decision for you to end up there. Falling for the wrong guy, falling for the wrong woman, a decision was made. Why did you fall for that one? The guy who's always in the wrong relationship, the guy who's always getting the bad end of the stick. Why do you go for those women all the time? It can easily turn into you saying, women are fucked up. But no, my brother, what have your choices been this whole time? Why have you been going for that particular kind of woman? Have you sat down to actually evaluate and investigate your pattern of women or your type of women? Where do you get these women? What is your current state of mind? What is going on with you when you pick that woman? Right? And or man. So wisdom is gained from experience. You can't keep doing the same things that give you negative results. So there's wisdom and there's knowledge. Knowledge, you can't just know something. For example, you can't just know that Monday is Heritage Day. You can't just know that, right? What's the history behind Heritage Day? There are people who know why it's Heritage Day because they experienced that history in that day. Right now, some of us don't give a fuck about these public holidays because, I mean, they don't really mean anything. Right? Except the ones that I protest against, for example, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Another one that drives me insane is Black Friday. It's not a holiday, but why do we participate in that shit as Africans? Like, why is it even still allowed to be used? That term, Black Friday. So it becomes wisdom gained from experience. So my experience in understanding what Black Friday is has allowed me to say fuck Black Friday. My experience is within my past psyche, or should I say bloodline or lineage. I know it in my depth, in my gut, in my soul, that I did experience this. It is still affecting me to this day. So why do I condone it or advocate it? I shouldn't be. So that's wisdom, right? So knowledge is just knowing something. And to have wisdom is to you. If you're wise, you have to experience something. You have to gain the experience of that knowledge. Gaining it is by flesh, like going through it. That gives you wisdom so that you can sit back and say, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like a child knowing if it, how we come to fear fire, heat, or whatever comes from the first experience being burnt, right? Not fucking with hot tea. It's because our tongues got burnt a couple of times. So that's wisdom. It gives you wisdom because now you know how to go about it. Having knowledge is just general knowledge for 30 seconds, or just to be a smart ass to other people. But there's nothing wrong with knowing certain things, but wisdom comes from experiencing life. Okay, companion, I'll read the scripture again. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. Companion, a person you associate with or accompanies or accompany someone, friendly or a friend. A companion, anything that is close to you is close to you by choice. Now, as I asked earlier, why are you close to that person, to that situation, to that thought, to that decision? Companion is a choice to bring something into your life, into yourself, into your thoughts. That is companionship. That is you choosing to be friendly with that situation. Why? Is the question. Why? Right? Fools. So companionship is the company you keep. So you need to question, what is the overall energy that I get from the decisions that I've been making, or the decisions that I've made, or the decision that I want to embark on? What do I feel when this thought hits me? Because energy is also everything. So what is the general feeling? That's why sometimes when things go wrong, you can say, but I knew it. Something told me that I shouldn't do this. So what is like, you want to go somewhere. There's a certain place that you're supposed to go to, but when it's time for you to go there, something is like, I think I'll stay behind, or I think I'll stay home. But if you go against that gut, if you go against that energy source, that energy direction or signal, you're gonna come back like tlhogo e le go fatshe, so o shebile fatshe o mapega phansi o ithola with so much regret because you did not follow that energy. So what is the general feeling that you get, or energy that you get, before, during, or after a certain decision or thought, or person? Some people, we just think of them. That's how easy it is, guys. Some people, you just think of them, your energy will tell you about them. Your energy will tell you about this decision that you're trying to take. In companioning with this person, allowing this person into your life, or this decision, right? If it doesn't feel good, then it does not make sense. Fools, person lacking sense or judgment. Yeah, judgment. You have to be smart, guys. You have to be really sensible. There's a sense of maturity, like judgment, man. You need to decide to see common sense or not, man. This makes sense or not. Like, we just know when things make sense or not. You just know it's not something you can avoid. Things that don't make sense just don't make sense, and things that do make sense do prove sense over time. Even a new idea that you propose to people and like, nah, that's not gonna work. You working on it, and because you believe in it so much, you are going to make sure that it actually proves to have sense. It proves to have use. Like what they say, if it doesn't make sense, it don't make sense. If it doesn't make money, it don't make sense. Because currency is reward. So it's not about really money. Currency is reward. So if it has no rewards that are going to, because with money, money buys you opportunity and things that you want, and and comfort and stuff. So if it doesn't bring you opportunity for better, then it does not make sense. If you gaining a certain feeling after being around or with someone, even sexually, for example, energy is everything. That is your spirit telling you that this guy and you, it's not working. Or it also proves he's in a certain state that is not matching your certain state. Right now, we shouldn't be doing anything. Now, the challenge is going to come to, do you have the guts and courage enough to let go of that relationship based on that very strong feeling that highlights your intimacy levels or comparison or compatibility? A lot of us fear having to step into that decision of letting go of something that hasn't proven to be certainty. It's like things like that, where how I feel as soon as I walk into the office, how I feel as soon as I walk out and I go home, how I feel the Sunday before I have to go back to work. That that is the universe. That is your true self saying to you, that place is not for you, sis or brother or whatever. Just before you meet with these friends and you get this energy, or every time you are with them, you're thinking, ish, yo, I should have just stayed at home. Or you start thinking of where else you would have been. Or you start thinking, I really don't want to have this conversation. I talk to them about this, but they won't get it. That is your true self, your true gut and energy saying, these are the people that you shouldn't be around right now. Go home. Or choose better friends or better company. When you're around your family, but every time you're supposed to go meet with your family or any one of your family members calling you and you're like, you get this feeling, it means the shit that you need to let go of there and shit that you really need to work on. Family is the first or the most directive source of you realizing what you need to work on. Because family, like you can detach, you can disown, right? But for the greater sense, family, you can't choose your family. But what you can do is actually learn how to navigate around these people, because you can't get rid of them, right? So how are you going to deal with them? That's how you learn how to navigate through life. Family members are okay, can't get rid of these people, but I really don't like their energy. So you choose when you see them. And when you see them, you choose for how long you see them. Certain things. And when you talk to them, you choose what you talk to them about. You don't if there's certain type of people that are not ready to hear certain things. You also learn with detachment that not everyone will agree with you as well. Not everyone is ready to hear where your life is or where your level of thinking is. Not everyone will be on the same level as you. So you need to learn to leave people where you meet them. Just because I know better doesn't mean my job is now to come and carry everyone with me to this better land or to this freedom land or promised land. Even Moses, he decided to take people and save them because where they were slaves. But along the way, these people were complaining. They were telling him shit. They were challenging him the whole time. Hey, dude, we are hungry. Hey, dude, we are tired. Hey, dude, we are cold. Hey, dude, where are we going? And that time, Moses did not know. He was not sure. But he believed. So imagine every day dealing with that many people who are just doubting and doubting and doubting and doubting and doubting. And then when they get to the promised land, oh, hail Moses. Oh, you were right all along. That's how it works in life. Eh? Family or not, just people. People are like that. So your job is not to convince people of your aha moment. That is detachment. You're not always right. Your purpose is right for you, but you're not always right. Right? You're not always right. Mandela started as a terrorist to the state and then becoming the president of that same state. He was a terrorist. He was seen as a terrorist. He was a terrorist. For ANC, he was just a reckless young man who had a lot to say, and he was a high risk for the leaders. He was a problem. And then he came out of jail being what? The peacemaker. You see how important it is to follow your own course and not believe in what other people are saying, or not trying to convince people into your own shit. Because now that's why Mandela is called a traitor. Because so many believed in what he was selling or believing in and experiencing before he was arrested. But this man spent some time in that jail. He had time to reflect. I'm sure he had a lot of time to reflect. Even though we can say he sold out, he didn't serve all that time in prison. Okay, that's okay. But the fact is this man was taken away from where he really wanted to be. So he had to be smart. Right? He had to be smart. And in all honesty, he had to think about his family before the whole of South Africa. That shouldn't surprise us. That's life. And then we find out how Gandhi is not as holy as we thought he was. He was actually a chauvinist. He was abusive. He was racist and all of that. And if you are, we must also detach from systems of belief too. Like, you must have your own system of belief. You must have your own way of really seeing things. And this comes in you knowing that nothing is definite. So the risk of you just solely dependent on a spiritual leader, a kobela, a Aunty.MaGoGo, a priest, a teacher, a lecturer, an influencer, a celebrity, an author. Are we not surprised all the time when we learn that these people are actually human? And then what happens after that? Believing that Erika Badu is all zen and shit. That, she's all about that shit. She's all about that shit. Believing that Mang Mang is all about that shit. And then you realize, no, man, they're just humans. This person. That changes everything, doesn't it? It changes everything for you. It really changes. Like when I saw Erika Badu, I have to share this. Like recently when she was doing her tour in America, and then this woman is wearing bum shorts or her ass is out with underwear and suspended stockings or whatever. It was a sexy look, but not for someone that grown, in my opinion. And this is just my opinion. And I can judge it because I decided to believe Uti. She's that type of woman, right? She's that type of elder, right? Because believe it or not, you have to act your age. That is wisdom. That comes with wisdom. You need to act your age. Whether you want to believe it or deny it, it comes with that. You fucking have to act your age. So I can't, a woman, I don't know how old she is now. And then Kibona Magreza Ashaile and and now she's like, obviously, her new market are the younger ones now. So does it mean I have to dress like a young one? The songs are the same songs, but different person. So do the songs still apply, really? Does the message in the song still apply? Like those type of things, you need to question yourself. And then, for example, because it was the same era, you look at Jill Scott. Now listen to what Jill Scott is saying in her concert, like her last one, where she changed the national anthem to the reality of what America really is. Like now she's talking about the shit that's really happening. If you listen to a podcast, that's a grown woman speaking right there. Like, oh shit, it's a grown woman. So like I haven't seen that many interviews, and I'm not judging Erica. I still love her, but I'm just saying, and I'm highlighting the risk of just believing in people that much. The risk in believing in how they look and what they're saying. It is still really up to the individual. And maybe in those times, I resonated because that's what I needed at the age that I was at or in, and the phase that I was in or at too. So it made sense then, and it helped me through, right? It helped me realize, nah, man, it's okay to be different. It's okay to see things this way. Because at that time, even to this day, it is still hard to be a woman who 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 embodies her sexuality and doesn't uh advertise her sexuality, because I know I'm a woman at the end of the day. So it was good to see women being feminine and being powerful and keeping it real and not having to flaunt it. And then now to see her doing that whole sex sells bullshit, it's like, right? So because now I still believe that sexuality, yes, each to their own. You own your body, sis. Do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. But I am one of those ones who believe that less is more. Um, I am not big. I've never really been big on wearing tight things or things that reveal my body. But when I do, you get people like, "Yo, mom, your body. You should actually. Why do you hide it?" And I always ask, "What do you mean? Why do I hide it?" No, you should show it off. Who for? What for? No, so that you should be proud of it. I'm like, I'm proud of it. That's why I don't advertise it. So guys, help me understand why having to show it means or shows or proves that I am proud of my body and how it looks. Please, can we please try and break that down? Can some I'm yet to find someone who helps me understand that way of thinking, that if the world sees how my body is, that is me expressing my truest form of freedom, or me accepting my body. Do you know how many people do that? And then they still come back to hate themselves. Because, yes, the world has to see my camel toe, because I have a camel toe. The world has to see my flat stomach, or not flat stomach, but the world has to see my ass. The world has to see if I'm not wearing underwear. But they need to be able to figure the contours of my whole body and know each birthmark, each scar, each stretch mark. It must be seen for the world to know that I am proud of my stretch marks and my cellulite. They must see it. Help me understand that. Where's the pride in that shit? I don't get it. And again, I'm not judging you for doing that. Be that person. Be that. But I'm also allowed to say I don't understand it. Like we also need to detach from wanting people to see things how we see them. And now we are in a culture where people are not allowed to say, that's some bullshit. That India recalling out the twerking and the booty hopping that was happening on a stage at the Essence Festival. She was getting hate for that, for saying, "Oh, what is this now?" She was getting hate, and people were saying, "These are black women, proud of their bodies, proud of their sexuality, proud of da 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 da." So we can't beg to differ. So we must just accept each and every fucking thing that we see happening in this world, because we are scared of people fighting us. Because now we are all fighting to make nonsense our norm. We are all fighting to be advocates of bullshit. Of bullshit, of things that don't make sense, of things where you know that this is going to lead to things that are worse. Us walking around naked is leading to problems. It is not causing them, it's leading to problems. It's not causing them. It is not causing them, it's leading to them, because there are some sick people who have no respect for other human beings. And to him or them, that is you availing yourself to their sick mind. That is the world offering them what they want. And because the world is offering them what they want, they think it is justifiable for them to just take it. You know, some people are that sick that even if you are a woman who's not even revealing her shit, someone will just want to come and take it because you're a woman. And to him or even her, you are inferior, you are weaker. So because you are weaker, then that gives them enough authority and power to come and just take whatever. Because I don't have that car, I must come and take it. I must hijack you. Because I don't have these things that you have in your house, I must break in and just take them. Okay. Where were we? What phase I get? So yes, if it does not feel good, then it does not make sense. If it does not make money, then it makes no sense. So suffering. The meaning for the word, reading the scripture again, he who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. So suffer is to undergo and be subjected to, tolerated with reluctance. Yo, guys, the suffering that we tolerate, even just staying in jobs that are abusive, that don't serve us, that don't feel good, staying in relationships that don't make any sense, that don't serve us, that don't serve us, like things that just don't serve us. Life is tough, né? But one thing I'll tell you, you are not here to suffer. That's another thing that I learned. I learned that God will take care of me no matter what. He still takes care of me no matter what. Me surrendering, me detaching from things, I know that I am taken care of. And in that light, I don't believe that I need to suffer. I don't believe in a world of suffering. I've never believed in that. Like in high school, when we were all dating, the friends, they would like stay in relationships that don't, like, I can't imagine being 16 or 17 and being in a relationship with a guy who's always cheating on me. And me in a relationship, the first sign of bullshit, I'm off. I broke it off. The first sign of shit, I was always that one. And then one day they told me, Mamu, no, you need to. They said, I have commitment issues. You need to be able to work through things. I've never been that person. And today we can look at them and say, oh, how has that served you, my sisters? Working on things, wanting to work on things. I've never been that one to just accept bullshit. The first sign of bullshit, me, I leave. But now over time, I've learned to pick better. I've learned to express myself better along the way, because I would just call the bullshit out a bit, right? But not putting my terms on the table as well. That is you working through things, putting your terms on the table. Like, okay, I see you doing this. And I'll understand, because you are human and no one is perfect. We are all imperfect. And in my imperfection of understanding you, I'd like for you to please understand that this and that and that and this, I don't like that because of this and that and that and that. I don't like it. Can we work on this, right? But how do you work on someone who's always cheating on you? How do you work on that? I had a domestic violence issue, my first and only domestic violence issue, to be honest. So I take person to court. I have relatives who are there to support me. I won't mention who. And while I'm sitting there, these relatives are like, yo, I'm happy that, they're actually coming to support me. While we're there in court, they're like, ish, you need to think about the child. Hewana. Ish. And if it was our times and we had these type of courts, none of us would be in marriages right now. Hawana. And I was like, fuck that shit. The other day, I realized that the same relative is having a similar issue in her family, where her seeds is actually so toxic in his relationship that it's not serving the female right, or even them. Everyone is just in a mess because of that person who's just whatever. And I realized that most women who say they've survived abuse, they've only survived it because their spouses died along the way. They didn't leave those abusive relationships. So these old people who are here to tell us that they survived abusive relationships, I always say, see, if that nigga died because of God, it was his time to go, that you didn't survive an abusive relationship. He died before he killed you. That's it. So you need to be careful of where you take your advice from. You cannot take advice about your abusive relationship or state or work or whatever from someone who's worked a company for all their life. someone who's only had no job, someone who's never had a job, someone who's not in a relationship for one. You cannot be going for marital advice from someone whose relationship has not been so nice. All right, so you cannot take advice about an abusive situation from someone who actually um, tolerated with reluctance, that's suffering, an abusive person or abusive partner or an abusive job. You get what I'm saying? Rather a person who survives that shit, someone who can tell me how they got out of it. La 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 la. So now me going and doing the whole court thing, that was me actually changing shit. Maybe breaking a generational curse. Oh, I know. Because I realize I have a child to teach this shit too. My child needs to know from jump that you don't do that. You don't do that. It's not allowed. You don't treat a woman that way. Even in him and his anger and growing up and being aggressive to others, because I was like, nope, the whole way that you do not do that. Your anger issues are not other people's problems. Now let's work through this anger. Where's it coming from? Why? Do you think you being this angry is changing anything? Over time, because we grew up with you just having issues. Yo, this child is acting out. This child is being a teenager. Anyways, we are on suffering. So anything that is confusing, painful, and does not pay your benefit is not for you. So harm is to injure physically, mentally, or morally. Mental, physical, or moral injury. Anything that harms you. I love how this definition just, first thing, injure physically, mentally, morally. Or number two, mental, physical, and moral injury. So it's important to detach. It's important to not care what people think about you. It's important to always detach your own decision. Take your decisions away from what the world wants you to be. It's important to allow things to happen the way they're supposed to happen. That is detachment. That is very important. It's important to be brave, to learn new things, new ideas. That is very important. It is important to be a vessel of knowledge, to gain wisdom. It is important for you to allow life to happen, not suffering, life to happen, to gain wisdom, to gain teachings. The only way to know things is to go through them, right? It is important to have space for that. So don't be out here trying to be living a life that you think you should be living, or trying to be in a relationship that you think is more acceptable to everyone. Your relationship is your relationship. Your life is your life. Your thoughts are your thoughts. Your decisions are your decisions. But detachment does not mean not caring or not having compassion. That is not what detachment is. Detachment is not being jailed or imprisoned by what is far from what you really want for yourself. That is detachment. Detachment is you moving away from what others want you to be and moving closer to what you want to be for yourself, but having the compassion to not be an asshole about it. Like a man who goes and lives on an island alone and says fuck it to everyone in the world, that is not detachment, that is just madness. Right? That's why the scripture says, he who walks with wise men. We are not in this life alone. Men is men, woman, man, anything, any living being, that is man. He who walks with wise men will be wise. But the companion, you choosing to be around people who don't make sense, will bring you suffering and harm. So yes, that's the power of detachment. It's you realizing you're not in control, you're not in power, and that everything is dependent on you, and you allowing things to go wrong. Yeah, a lot of our anxiety is because we feel that something is not there. That is what is causing a lot of people of anxiety, is you feeling like you are not sure. Like feeling like you are not sure. Why do you have to be sure? Why do you have to know? You see what education did? It made us think that we need to have the exact answer for everything in life, and that's not how life works, guys. We are not running the show. We are not. So the power of detachment is you just having healthy self-evaluation. That is the power of detachment. Having healthy self-evaluation. And just self-conceptualizing. Like, what am I? Who am I? What defines me? And just making it what you want it to be. If your passion is not something that brings you to emotion because you care that much, then it's not your passion. You need to care that much so that it makes sense to you. You know, the greatest people are the people who follow their hearts and their gut in something that to them made sense, that to them brought them satisfaction, whether that amount or way of satisfaction was understood or not. Detachment is not trying to be like everyone else. Detachment is not trying to be right all the time. So there are different levels to this detachment journey. So many levels to it. And it has to start small, but you can't be an asshole about it. Like, that's something I have to keep bringing up. Detachment is not you telling people what you think all the time and shoving it down people's throats, making people agree with you. Detachment is allowing people to disagree with you. Detachment is also calling something out and saying, I don't like it. And if people don't believe in it, doesn't mean you must shout more, doesn't mean you must be louder. It means you need to remove yourself from that situation. So removing yourself from your situation, it's not always physical. You can be in a house full of like people who are just in their own shit, and it's been affecting you your whole life. But at some point, you need to sit down and say, okay, this is my situation. I can't leave right now, but while I am here, how am I going to make this situation work for me? Okay, first thing is to not be affected by everything that you hear or you see in that space, right? That is one of the things to do. Okay, let me not react to this shit, because I have to understand that this person is who they are. They think how they are. Okay, and why does that thing really affect me this much? This is you self-conceptualizing and saying, I am this person. I am not what that person says I am. I am this person because, you know? So it's not about you physically removing yourself from certain things and certain people before you leave the job that you hate, because sometimes you can't just resign there without having a plan. You need to start conceptualizing and detaching yourself from that situation mentally and emotionally, where the things that really pissed you off about being in that space don't piss you off anymore, because now you have to avail your mental and emotional state for this new phase that you're trying to welcome into your life. This is why detachment is important, because if we are stuck in just the things that don't serve us all the time and we don't detach, then we are not welcoming or making the space for what is meant to come for us, away from these things that don't serve us. So if you want for things to stop, if you want to end the suffering of things that don't serve you anymore, you first need to make the space and avail yourself to the things that you want for yourself. But if you are always just focusing on what is not working, you are not welcoming what will work. Because that's the gist of it, eh? So detachment is not physical, but at some point physical has to be there. Physical is almost like the last phase of it. You know, it's like me right now. I don't appreciate the fact that I'm in Alex. I don't appreciate it. But while I'm here, am I gonna go on everything and say I hate it here, I hate it here, I hate it? Let me tell you, me, where I am in my house right now, I am not here. Even people when they walk into my house, they forget they are in Alex because the energy of the space is not the energy of where I don't like being, right? It is the energy of where I want to go because energy is everything. So even though the people who come here, I don't tell everyone who comes in, I hate it here. Not that I hate it, but I just don't like it. It does not serve me any purpose being here. I am serving my purpose by starting my journey of defining myself and actually rooting my brand while I'm still here in Alex. There's no sense in me just saying, yeah, you know, I'm Aunty.MaGoGo, but I can only start doing certain things once I'm outside of Alex. So as much as I've been talking to God and saying, God, I know there's a plan for me. I know when the time is right, I will be removed from this space, right? So while I'm here, what do I have to do? I have to be grateful for being here. I have to be grateful for each and every single little thing that is in my life while I am here, right? A year ago, I quit working, like officially. I could have spent the last 9 months just stressing about how I'm no longer earning that salary that I used to earn. And oh my God, how am I going to survive now? Can I tell you that month to month, I never know how much I'm going to end the month with. I never know what exactly my income is going to amount to. I never know. But I've told the universe how much I am earning. I look after my house the way that I would look after my new house, my new home. I don't have this thing Alex. No, my space. I look after it while I'm welcoming my new space, while I'm welcoming our new home, while I'm manifesting my new home, right? My health hasn't been 100%, but I am welcoming my new health, my health that is growing, my healthy state of mind and emotion and physicality by saying that I am healthy. I'm not just saying that I'm healthy, but I've changed some of my habits, my eating habits, right? My my habits, my smoking, you know, my caffeine. I've altered myself to prepare for me just being fully healthy and ridding myself of these ailments that I've suffered for all this time. So you need to make the space for the things that you want while getting rid of the things that you don't need. Manifestation is not just you sitting there and say, oh God, please give me R1,000,000. Okay, before you get that R1,000,000, are you prepared for it? What are you going to do with that R1,000,000? Are you prepared? Okay, R1,000,000 to buy a house. Okay, where do you want to buy the house? What area do you want to buy in? What kind of house is it? How's your house going to look? What are the colors of the walls in your house? What type of carpeting are you going to have? What type of tiling are you going to have? What type of towels are you going to? There's detail. There's attention to detail to the thing. You need to apply attention to detail. That's why, as much as I don't know how much I'm going to make every month, the universe knows how much I am making. I've told the universe how much I'm making. And it's not what I am making, but the universe knows how much I am making. The future me, and the future can be tomorrow. The future can be an hour from now. Because I need to open myself to opportunities that are going to bring me the life that I want. So even being surrendering to things, you still do have the power of choice of telling the universe the type of life that you want and designing the type of life that you want for yourself. Okay, let's wait so that we know what else we need to tell y'all. So everything is all about not where you at, but where you at. Not where you at, but where. I've been telling people to use me while they can. That time of part has passed also, of me allowing people to just use me. I've told people, use me while you can. For a while. Use me while you can. And now that phase of people using me has come to an end. And I've told people, because I know I'm international, Alex and South Africa is not ready for me because I am international. I believe that because I see it. And me not being understood or accepted or whatever, I could have seen that as an obstacle or as a cancer to my daily thoughts. That, oh my God, oh Lord, why have you made me be in this situation where, look, now people don't. I wouldn't have had some amazing ideas that I've had over time in the past 6-9 months, where I'm just, okay, we're doing this now. Okay, we're doing this now. I don't think that way because that's just going to bring me suffering. That's wisdom. In seeing that there was a time where I used to think this way, it wasn't serving me well. Why would I want to do that now? And also me knowing that I want to change my life, then investigating, okay, where do I start? How do I do it? Who do I go to? And also understanding that mentors, yes, we are told to have a mentor. A mentor is not someone that you have to know. It's not someone that you have to see all the time or every day. The internet offers us that opportunity when you're not learning from the same people every day, because that's what life is. Mentors come and go. If I'm out somewhere in a taxi and there's opportunity now for me to speak to someone, I make opportunity to learn new things from new people. And I can speak to people and I can learn something new, and that is also detachment. Now we don't have, doesn't mean we have to exchange numbers now, but I learned something from that person because there's a lesson in each day. I've made this my thing since finding God about, I think, 11 years ago. Since finding God, yes, it's 11 years ago, that I have to find the lesson in every day. There has to be a lesson in every day. There has to be something that I learn that makes me a better person every day. So also in starting that process at a time and a phase where you think you're better than everyone around you. See, that's the other risk of getting into things, but you need to, you know, like, use your sensibility, have compassion. Compassion goes a long way. Don't be ignorant, don't be arrogant. There's no arrogance in that, you know. So it's not arrogance in me saying I'm international. South Africa is not ready for me. That's fact. According to me, that is fact. It's something I know. It's something I know, that I am not ordinary, that I'm different, that I'm a gift. Something that I know. You don't have to come and tell me that. You can disagree. Okay, it's all about what you think about yourself. So this is what I think about myself. So why would it bother you what I think about myself? What do you think about yourself? You know, when you see someone just celebrating themselves, like Kanye saying he's the greatest of all time. He's like, what's his name? Muhammad Ali. He's the greatest. He said it. He believed it. Who were we to try and argue it? And he made sure that he said it because he dedicated to it every day. That man trained very hard. Kanye West saying he's the dopest ever. We can hear it in his music. We've heard it over time. Kanye has made some dope-ish. You know, Jay-Z saying I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. He has proven it over time. We've seen it. This guy keeps evolving. Right? So don't be offended by people defining who they are and not being afraid to tell you, like, no, I'm a queen. I'm a queen. And then you're like, how dare she calls herself a queen? You queen yakokayena. Oh, okay, so that means you're peasants then, and you want us all to be peasants. It says a lot about yourself. If you are going to be bothered of how people want to represent themselves, and you want to take the time to come and tell us how we should carry ourselves, blind. You know, that's why even now in social media, you have people who make money off commenting about other people's lives. And those are the people who are going to get a lot of clout. They are going to get a lot of following. Dingaka that use fear to gain people is because a lot of people are living in fear. They don't know themselves. So if someone comes and says, if you don't do this, if you don't buy this, your life is fucked. Oh, he knows a lot of people are going to come. But if you get people who say, work on yourself, you are the problem. How dare she says I'm a problem. I don't want anything to do with that one. This Aunty.MaGoGo one, I don't want anything to do with. I don't understand her. She makes no sense. It's because Aunty.MaGoGo is not telling you exactly what to do with your life. Because it is your life at the end of the day. You need to start thinking for yourself. You must think for yourself. Aunty.MaGoGo is not coming to. So we don't, even in school, my favorite teachers, or just in life, even bosses, I prefer people who are hard. I actually work hard better with people who are hard and people who don't care about being liked, but they get things done. I have a problem with people who try too hard to be diplomatic and things. I prefer people who shake shit up. I prefer people who really shake things up and get people to start thinking. For example, I'm a big fan of Fat Joe. I've always been a big fan. I'm a big fan of Andrew Tate. I'm a big fan of Bobby from uh, the podcast because of how she chose to go about things and not, be too quick to want to seem like she likes everything. And of course, the people that she's interviewing are people that she likes, but she's not all about, oh, Google. She actually approaches things from just, asking questions that other people won't ask. Quentin Tarantino, one of my favorite directors and producers, is because he went about shit in and telling stories that a lot of people, especially of his background, would not want to even delve into. Quentin Tarantino has been the first step in a lot of people's careers, especially black people as well, actors that we don't know. So I'm not out here to be liked. And I'm not about liking people who are here to be like. So even in school, I liked the teachers that were tough. I really enjoyed the teachers that were tough, not assholes, but teachers who actually make you want to be better at what you are doing. So people who teachers who made me feel like, yo, I mustn't waste this woman or this man's time. This person is not here to play. You know? And people who are not afraid to lose. I am not afraid to lose. I am not afraid to be wrong. That's why I wake up every day saying, oh Lord, okay, let's see what the day has for us. Ending the month or every month on, oh, it's this much, oh, it's not this much, oh, it's this. But one thing I'll tell you, I can still eat what I want to eat. My important bills are paid every month. I take care of things that I want to take care of. I can still do the things that I really want to do. And now I am more thoughtful on where I spend my time and money, as opposed to when I had extra money to just, blow. But I was never that person. I'm not that person. It's also helped me pick the responsibilities that I want, like family responsibilities. Like, nah, actually, this is not my business. I shouldn't care about this. Let me focus on myself, right? And the universe knows, God knows how much I am earning, the amount of money that I want to be earning. Right? The universe knows the state that I want my business and businesses to be at because I've told it. I'm preparing myself on a daily basis of the life that I want for myself. Sometimes some changes don't need to come in the physical. Sometimes there's a phase where things are slowed down so you can start changing yourself from mentally and emotionally so that it can show in the physical. So by the time the phase of the physical coming, the physical changes coming, I'm already prepared so that I don't have to go through that process and listen again. Now we are just moving forward, right? So it's a matter of preparing ourselves. I think I've said enough. No, I think Spirit also agrees. It also agrees. So just make sure that whatever decisions that you are making are decisions that are going to serve you. Because anything that is good, we are going to see in the circumstances and results. There's an end to everything. So if the results are not good, hi sis, hi brother, it means you need to change, right? You can't keep doing the same thing and hope for different results. So move away from things that are not serving you. That is detachment. So also YouTube is very vast. There's a lot of teachers out here. So if you want to understand more on what detachment is, go into it. The world is your oyster, Joe. Just go and find new teachers. Apply different knowledge. And some knowledge finds you because you are preparing yourself to learning more. Some things we won't learn because we are just so stuck in our ways and we don't want new things to come. They won't come to us. We won't find them. We won't bump into them. Like there won't be that room for coincidence or serendipity, because we just are not interested. I'd rather just watch my Netflix or Showmax or I don't know, whatever else, instead of just, listening or watching something that is going to educate me. So yeah, that is the lesson on the power of detachment. Take care of yourselves, guys. Just be patient with self. But remember, self conceptualizing is really important. It's really self conceptualizing is very, 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 and really, really, really important. Not thinking not worrying too much about what society expects of you is key. Define your own reality, define your own life. That's why people who choose to be gay, like outwardly, those are very brave people, guys. It takes guts to show people that I'm changing, this is not who I am. You knew a girl, I'm gonna be a boy. You knew a boy, I'm gonna be a woman. Like you knew a woman, but now I want to be a man. I want to be treated as a man. You knew a woman, but you knew a man, but now I'm going to be a woman. It takes fucking guts to choose to be different to what the world gave birth to. That's a whole other ball game, guys. So, and there's a story that gay people are very successful. It's because their lives are all about going against the odds, going against the grain, because they know that the world does not have their back. So when you know that the world does not have your back, whose back are you going to have? Your own back. You're going to trust your gut even more. You won't listen to what everyone is saying to you. So there needs to be respect given to people who choose to be different in this world. We shouldn't be fighting people who choose to be different, who choose to see things differently, who are actually demanding to be treated differently. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So be kind to yourselves, guys. Again, thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for all the views. I will be updating some website changes very soon. Thank you for all the orders coming through the website. Thank you for even the love donations. I appreciate those, guys. So yes, we are still continuing with our homemade herbal products. The services for spiritual coaching are still available. Tarot card reading services are available. Doula services are still available. And also, guys, just to mention, in December, between the 15th and the 17th, we're having our Basadi weekend retreat. It's just a few women. It's limited space. It's 1,500. It pays for the accommodation. It pays for all your meals and the activities that will be happening over that weekend. But it's mostly about relaxation, self-reflection, rejuvenation, and just reconnection of self. So I will be doing one-on-one work with each woman that will be there, and there will be some group work, but it'll be easy does it. And this will be in December for 2 days. So it's a Friday, and then Sunday everyone comes back home. So that's why it's limited space, because I like giving attention to each person. Not everything will be for the group. and there will be some one-on-one time. So all the meals are prepared by your chef, Aunty.MaGoGo. Every meal I'll be preparing it, except maybe when we go out for one of the meals. So yeah, that's what it is. So it's spiritual coaching, is you experiencing my cooking, and my style of cooking, um, self-reflection. So there's a workshop in that too. So 1,500, 2 nights, and this one will be in Joburg. So we'll be hiding in a nice hideaway spot. We have a house to ourselves, somewhere in Joburg, just beautiful scenery, beautiful and quiet background. So yes, do email Aunty.MaGoGo@gmail for more information. So there will be a more direct website soon, but for now, or also just WhatsApp me on 064-213-4060. These details are also in our channel description, and even this video description should have my contact details. So do WhatsApp me to inquire further about the retreat. Yes, it is limited spacing. Limited, meaning there won't be a lot of women who will be joining us for this retreat. So it'll be me and these women. So if you have a friend who's also interested, it would be nice. That way you guys can share a room together, can share a double bed together. But it's also not a bad thing to share a room with someone that you don't know, because it is interesting when women who don't know each other and have different backgrounds come together, because we are also pushing sisterhood. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I will see you guys then. But do still contact me for any other services that you do need or require from yours. And truly, Aunty.MaGoGo, I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. So holler at me if you do need one-on-one consultation or one-on-one attention. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I appreciate, because I do know it's not just Mzansi people who are watching and who are giving me their feedback and comments. So thank you so much, guys, for all of that. Thank you for appreciating my cooking videos too. That's been fun. There will be more of those as well. So thank you. I'm grateful for you being audience and participants in this purpose and this God-given gift and journey. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And if you need a specific video, go to the playlist, because I have actually designated or separated them in that way. But otherwise, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Self-love is a lifestyle, right? I appreciate each and every single one of you. Take care of yourselves. Aunty.MaGoGo out.